Roblox music is kinda weird. I don't mean that in a bad way, but music in Roblox games has always been disregarded for the longest time. For example, if you've played Roblox before, you most definitely know this song, but you've probably never found it easily unless you were actively searching for it, despite it having a plethora of social media posts made using it with millions of views. But that song is kinda old. Skip a few years later, and we are now having Roblox game soundtracks get tens of millions of views, some of them even having full-on music videos. And I think this is all part of a phenomenon I call the rise of Roblox game music. It was only several years ago that Roblox games slowly started to introduce their own original soundtracks, some notable examples being Piggy, Sharkbite, or even 3008, just to name a few, but they were nowhere near as popular or important as they are now. And that's why I think Roblox music is on the rise. So I'm gonna talk about all of it, break down how we got into this position, what they do right and what they could do wrong, and why Roblox game songs are so popular now. Also, to show I'm somewhat qualified for this topic, I have some experience in making Roblox music, namely block tales, which will be pretty important for this video. Buckle up, subscribe if you enjoy, because I spend way too much effort on this video. Ain't no such thing as a good video essay without some yapping about the history of the topic at hand. Luckily for us, there isn't much to go over, so don't worry. A lot of old Roblox music wasn't even music made for Roblox to begin with. What people call sword fights on the heights music is actually just a remix of a song from the game Chrono Trigger. One of the most important songs in Roblox media, Winds of Fjords, wasn't made for Roblox. It originally belonged to a music group called Soft Knees. However, the first song actually made for Roblox as a platform is this one. Yeah, this sounds like a DJ toenail beat. Skip a few years later, and you can now upload your own custom soundtracks on Roblox. And yeah, that had its own issues later down the line, but it took until 2016-ish for people to start actually making music for Roblox games, not Roblox itself. But to be fair, if we look at it objectively, what was Roblox a decade ago? Better? Maybe, but besides that, it was a simple games platform, looked a little bit like some weird spin-off of Legos with a player base of only a few tens of thousands of people every day. Roblox was still niche, and now behemoth of gaming with tens of millions of people all around the world playing it every day. You see the difference? I know people like to view old Roblox with rose-tinted glasses, but the same games that were being made 10 years ago are still being made today, but under a different coat of AI slop paint. And no copyright music on a game like Superhero Tycoon does not count as Roblox game music. But the older games that actually had some sort of passion in them, back when this platform still had a soul, they had music. And they didn't just have music, they had really memorable music. I think we can all agree that despite Meep City being made by a really questionable individual, the music in that game was phenomenal. Truly some upper class Roblox music. And you know, you also had the iconic Sharkbite soundtrack, which I mentioned in the intro, composed by none other than B-Slick. Another great pick is Egg Hunt, the Great Yolk Tales soundtrack, also composed by B-Slick. And even Dress to Impress, which was also composed by B-Slick. Am I saying that right? Oh, Jesus!
You are.
How did you... Who are you?
I'm glad you asked. I am B-Slick.
Oh. Okay, well, it's good to have you on, B-Slick. Say, what do you think about the piano?
The piano? Yeah, it's a pretty good instrument. A classic.
I agree, but you really shouldn't be here, man.
Okay.
I was saying, old Roblox music was great, but what we have now is undeniably even greater. Or is it? Yeah, it is, but there's so much music being made by so many people, you can't help but wonder, is Roblox music that good? Before I continue, I just want to preface that I am not a professional composer, so don't take my personal opinions too seriously, because they're just my personal opinions. Now, what does a musical identity for a game even mean? To me, I think a game's musical identity is defined by the usage of certain leitmotifs, types of instruments used, and the overall style of the songs, but that's all boring stuff to talk about. Instead, I'll give you some examples of good and bad musical identities in Roblox games so you can understand what I mean. One of the good examples examples is Block Tales, obviously. More specifically, the town leitmotif, as I call it, used in songs for certain breakpoints of the game, or just most songs made by Wheelable. It is absolutely imperative that a game like Block Tales, a story-driven RPG, should have good music that defines the aesthetic of the game, as well as the area or character it plays for. Still, it's so cool to think that just 2 years ago I was giving this game a 10 out of 10 as an underrated game, and now look at what it's become. It's no longer underrated, it's well rated. And anyways, back to the topic at hand. Another great example is Nullscape, having its own characteristic motif that is in literally almost every song. The drum and bass EDM style further reinforces the wacky and intense nature of the game, and it fits within the game world like a glove. Not to mention that the Nullscape motif itself is really catchy and easily identifiable in the music. Also, you should totally play Nullscape. It's I'm really addicted to it. I've been procrastinating on this video because I've just been playing this game. I'm not even kidding. Oh my god! Are you just—
Somebody say a Nullscape.
Why do you sound like that?
Somebody say Nullscape.
Yeah, I did. I said it. Wait, Digital Descendant? I love your work on Nullscape, man. I mean, you probably heard me say that earlier, right? But
I don't know who you are.
Right, that makes sense. Say, you got a lot of guitars in your songs, right?
Yeah, I guess I do, but it's not like I can play. Okay, then.
However, an example of a bad musical identity would be some Asym games. Now, I'm not gonna say these games have terrible music for terrible people. The music is fine, I like most of it, but there's a reason I've seen it being referred to as FNF slop on Twitter. The chase themes are anything but chase themes that would play when a spooky killer is chasing you, and instead more just something that gives you adrenaline, but not tension in the scary sense. The music is great, sure, but most songs don't really strike me as something that would fit in these games. But it's understandable, since at the end of the day you want a song that's memorable and fun to listen to, so you don't go insane listening to creepy music, since most of these games don't really focus on the horror aspect either. You know, a slight tangent here, but there's this horror game I played where the character you play as is depicted as having schizophrenia, and every night you gotta survive against your demons, and during that some random breakcore music plays. It feels a little out of place, but hey, if any people with schizophrenia can confirm that this is what it's like, let me know. There are also other games that have a pretty interesting musical identity, such as Doors with its iconic music, or even Super Bomb Survival, so these are obviously not the only examples. Admittedly, it's way easier to just take some random song off the internet and plop it into your game free of charge, especially because of the fact that the budget for most indie Roblox developers starting out is merely hopes and dreams. And music costs money if you're paying for it, and it isn't even the main focus of your game most likely. So all in all, it can be a net negative to hire someone to make music for your game, hence why it's easier to just use dark magic and summon FL Studio on your computer and learn to make something yourself. The only slight nitpick I have is that it sounds like most of these composers have only really listened to a very specific genre of music. You know what I'm talking about. There's a style, there's just something about it that makes a lot of Roblox game music feel like Roblox game music, which, as we know, that's a bad thing because Roblox sucks. Jokes aside though, there's a certain identity that can be attached to a lot of modern Roblox game music despite the games being so different from one another. Friday Night Funkin' mods have permanently altered a generation of artists. This is a complete tangent, not meant to actually insult anyone, but oh boy. It genuinely seems like a huge majority of artists who are now anywhere between the ages of 15 and 20 have all fucking taken the same tutorials or something. And I say artists because this extends beyond music. For lack of a better term, the FNFification of modern media needs to be studied. And while this is a topic that interests me, this isn't the main topic of the video, but I will say this. Not everything needs to be hype and aura. Look, I got the mindset of the average consumer. I love me a little bit of hype and aura, but it's becoming a trend for Roblox game music to misrepresent a scenario for the sake of sounding good and clippable and being something you might listen to outside of the game. it makes sense why people do it like that. And I'm not necessarily asking for it to be changed, but it really feels like we all had the same childhood or something, you know, same art style, same music, and so much breakcore. Just learn how to write drums. I'm tired of the... But you know what I don't grow tired of at all ever? My Discord server. Yep, feel free to join it to get sneak peeks and chat about future videos and just about anything you like. Link is in the description. But the truth is, you can make music without knowing music theory. You can still make a good song without knowing that the notes you just placed form a Neapolitan chord, but I do think it's essential to at least try going out of your comfort zone every now and again. But I mean, a few years ago, I was one of them. All I would listen to was Versus Matt Wii Sports FNF Mod OST. You know, the music that was just noise. And now I make the music that some people will grow up listening to. Oh god, the anxiety's coming back. But imposter syndrome aside, looking on the bright side of things, for a lot of kids growing up now, Roblox game music might be a good place to start, especially since most of it stands on the shoulders of giants such as Earthbound, or some of it even makes direct references to classical music. Right, I don't know what's up with Dandy's World, okay? Can you tell this video's been worked on for like eons? A few games I want to talk about went to shit while I've been working on this. Anyway, let's get back to the real meat and potatoes. The burning question. Why are Roblox game songs so popular now? Well, it's all because of... Now we have reached the point where there are actual games with in-depth stories and memorable characters with soundtracks just as good to accompany that. This is a Roblox game song. Honestly, labeling it as such kinda downplays it. Roblox has grown so much over the years, and the fact that there are people who can get actual careers out of making music for these games is extremely impressive. Hopefully, Roblox can acknowledge this and stop shooting itself in the foot with every update they decide to push out. But on the topic of music making careers though, some people will freak out when they see Nico Patty as a composer for a game. And for good reason, honestly. Wait. Well... I guess for oh my god! It's like you're like Bloody Mary or something? I say her name 3 times and I summon you or something? Is that what's going on?
What?
Forget it. I just... Nico Patty.
Hello.
How about them drums? You know, the you know, those.
Yeah, what about them?
Well, you like drums. I like drums. So I think you will like this. Oh, yeah, music. The problem is, it's still a very new concept. Only the passionate, underrated games opt to have an original soundtrack, but most front-page games usually have extremely simple, almost corporate-sounding music, or just straight-up nothing at all, which isn't a bad thing, but like, I love music. I imagine because you clicked on this video that you do too. So it sucks to see most games not have some sort of musical identity. But we're referring to most games you'd see on the front page of Roblox. Like, what kind of fucking music would you put for something like Steal a Brain Rot? You know, that's the problem. Because of Roblox's ever-growing popularity, there's a chance to get hundreds of millions of people exposed to a specific soundtrack. Example, Forsaken. Setting aside the situations plural and just looking at the music made for this game, this song for one of Forsaken's killer skins has over 20 million views on YouTube. I would even argue that in-game, this song has probably been listened to hundreds of millions of times. It feels like Roblox game music is finally starting to seep into the mainstream, warranting a lot of reaction videos from all sorts of YouTubers, most of them not even having played Roblox. You know you've made it as a composer if there's a video of someone tweaking out to your music. Not only that, but even fan-made tracks that aren't in their respective games end up getting millions of views. Roblox music has reached an all-time peak. So, where do we go from here? Well, that's the thing. This very moment, I couldn't tell you. Roblox is in a bit of a pickle, and well, since last year, they've just been rolling downhill. Not to say that things won't eventually get better, no matter how long that may be, but it's looking a little bad. It's getting harder to express art as someone who maybe doesn't want to pay for a subscription service or give away their face or personal information. And sure, this is becoming a problem that doesn't pertain to just Roblox anymore. And while that is a genuine genuine problem, there are always other places you can express yourself in. That's the great thing about music. You don't need to put it in a game. You can just put it out there on the internet. Someone will find it and someone will enjoy it. Even if you think it's bad or your friends do, the road to improving only goes up with maybe a few bumps along the way, but it's up to you to walk it. And maybe you're just watching this video for entertainment, as most of you do, to which I have to say, just enjoy music. It's pretty freaking awesome. Music brings us together. It makes you feel something. It makes me feel something. Unless we're talking about AI, in which case, you know, that is a genuinely sinful way to create music. But jokes aside, if there's anything I want you to leave with from this video, it's to just kind of make shit, man. I don't care how you do it. You will get FL Studio or Logic Pro or Ableton, but if you don't feel like a creative person, then just listen to music more and kind of get into it, because Roblox music does have some pretty good bangers, all things considered. If you enjoy the music you enjoy, no one else can take that away from you. No one's an expert. It's Roblox music after all. But some people, well, they really put 110% into making this stuff. So Roblox does have real great pieces of art. Although they're hard to find because it's Roblox, they are there. And thus, while the platform is rolling downhill, people still try to keep the ball rolling uphill. Will this prove to be a Sisyphean task from the player base? We won't know until the time comes, but as corny as it sounds, all we have is ourselves. So we gotta start showing more appreciation to the things that we have and be louder against the things that we don't want. Knowing Roblox, well, they don't really listen, do they? They only listen to the sweet music of cash money in their bank account. So, in conclusion, Roblox game music is pretty good. It wasn't until recently that many Roblox games started introducing their own original soundtracks made with nothing but love, and usually made with intention too. Intention of giving people something to listen to and to try to break out of the Roblox bubble that people usually associate with being nothing but slop. And thus, while the platform may be in a bit of a decline right now, Roblox game music is on the rise. Let me know what your favorite Roblox game OSTs are in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoyed. And one last thing. Hit it, boys! Shoutouts to B Slick, Digital Descendant, and Nico Patty for accepting to be part of this video. It's surreal even saying that. Shoutouts to my good friend Burger, or 7 Slaps of Ham, whatever you want to call him, for animating all the cool ass scenes you see in this video. If it weren't for him, this video would have been okay at best. And shoutouts to all my friends who supported me in the making of this video, obviously. And also, thank you for watching.